Okay, everybody, welcome to the Black Diamond Call. It is Monday, January 15th, and I am John Lavinia, as I am each Monday and every other day of the week. For some reason, I just keep showing up as me. But we are going to have a fun call tonight. It is the Black Diamond, and I am just awaiting our guest host, and we are going to hear from someone we have never heard from before on the Black Diamond Call tonight, so I'm very excited about that. And announcements. The cat's out of the bag as far as the Marketing Mastery event. I think that was unofficially announced, but we're going to be having more such announcements coming up as we get closer to March. This is going to mark the end of winter, beginning of spring for all of us here in the Northern Hemisphere, and that's going to be in San Diego, California. And if you do not yet have information on that, you can get early bird pricing, which I highly recommend. And VIP tickets before they sell out, and they will sell out probably before January's over, just so you know. VIP always sells out first, and more than half of them are already gone. You can get details about the Marketing Mastery event at digitalaltitude.co/MME2018, digitalaltitude.co/MME2008. Excuse me. And you can get all the details. You can watch video footage from previous such events, and yeah, it's all good. Good stuff. And then let's see here. What else do we have? We've got Apex coming up. I mentioned that this morning. If you're an Apex ticket holder, be sure to get that ticket registered by logging into your Digital Altitude back office and clicking the Apex tab, and then you'll be good to go on all that. So I think that is it. We're going to go ahead and get into the Black Diamond Call now, and that is where we get together once a week. And oh, I'm seeing a text from my co-host. She's not sure if she dialed in properly, and the answer is no, she hasn't, but that's okay. I've got the console, and I can fix that. Yes, I can. I can fix that. All right, so actually, I can't fix that if she has muted herself permanently. All right, Jade, just so you know, it's not working out. I need you to unmute your line. I need you to get unmuted. Looks like you're totally locked into mute mode here. So we may have some technical problems tonight, folks, but what the Black Diamond Call is, or what it's supposed to be, is where we get together each week for an hour or so, and we get to hear from myself and other top earners here in our industry about how we've gotten to the top. And this is something that I take very purposefully, right? This is something that I've actually been hosting this call in one form or another for about 15 years in various forms. Once again, of course, this has been going on Monday nights long before even Digital Altitude existed. And so the rules for the call are take what you like and leave the rest. Okay, you're going to hear my opinion on stuff, me, my co-host, hopefully my co-host tonight, if we can get her line unmuted. And we're going to hopefully be entertained and thrilled and chills and everything else. However, this stuff is for you. It's not just for entertainment value. So please see how these ideas work in your life and in your business, and take what you like and leave the rest. And of course, if I say anything that offends you, you'll get over it. That's just how we roll. And I want you to win, not sit around and be comfy and tiptoe through the tulips. That's not what we do around here. So tonight, we are hopefully going to hear from somebody who you know what, she just got some recognition on the Digital Altitude Facebook group. She's done over 300, almost 400,000 in sales, as I recall. I was just on the Facebook group and was looking at some congratulatory post that Michael Force had put up there. And yeah, it's pretty great to have people like this in our midst. Young girl who clearly is getting the job done. And you know what? We got to hear from another young lady last week, Jen Weeman, who was on the call with us. And Jen, in her case, she's already done somewhere in also the 300,000 range. She did that in her first 4 months. And in this case, we've got Jade Scarfone, and I hope I'm saying her last name right. I'm Italian, so it looks like Scarfone to me. But Jade, let's see if I can get you unmuted. Looks like you're not on the host line.
I've called in on my phone. Can you hear me?
Ah, okay, very good, very good. So yes, you are on the host line. I was attempting to unmute. I've got another Jade here Looks like you're on the what do you call it, the app, but you didn't activate your microphone, so I can't get you manually unmuted. But yes, Jade, you're here with us on the host line. Very good. All right. So Jade, all right, now that I'm done running my mouth to take up time awaiting your arrival, how are you today?
I'm wonderful. It's actually Tuesday for me, so it's a fresh morning here in Australia, and I've had a great day so far. I've already done a call with my team, and yeah, just been prepping myself for this. So very excited and honoured to be here. Thank you.
Fantastic. Another Aussie, ladies and gentlemen. There we go. All right. And Jade, I know you're just crushing it with the business. And, of course, I get the pleasure to coach some of your new members who get their RISE programs and all that. So, yeah, this is your show. And so maybe you want to share a bit of your story. And I know we're a little bit impromptu here as far as getting you on the line. We didn't have any time to prep at all. But, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and hit mute on my mouth so you can, oh, I see Glenn Henderson in the chat is saying Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. So, of course, I shall respond, oi, oi, oi. And there's that. So, Jade, go ahead. Where are we heading here tonight?
Thank you very much. And firstly, I just want to thank you, John, for coaching all my members because you've been doing an amazing job and they all love you. So I really, really appreciate that.
Oh, my pleasure.
And yeah, I guess I'll just get into a bit of my story, which I'm really excited to share. My journey with DA definitely wasn't an overnight success story. I had a lot of obstacles to overcome. But I actually found Digital Altitude when I was on a career break from my job. So anyone who doesn't know me, I used to work at a quite a prominent bank here in Australia, and I was a BDM there, so I was quite high up in a management role, and it just got to the point where I was completely breaking down, and I ended up having like 6 weeks stress leave, and then took a career break to reevaluate and reassess what I wanted out of life, because I just knew that that wasn't enough, and although I was making really good money, I just didn't have a life, and I wasn't happy with what I was doing. So I took some time off from my job, and I ended up, as you do, just scrolling through social media and spending lots of days on Instagram, watching all these people just traveling the world and living this amazing lifestyle. And I just kept saying to myself, why am I not doing that? That's what I want to be doing. I love traveling. And even though in my job I was able to take a few weeks off each year to go traveling, that was never enough. And my list just kept growing and growing, and I didn't have enough time to get to all the places I wanted to see. And as it would have it, I was scrolling through Instagram one day and I came across a post. You've probably heard this from other people who have done the same sort of thing. We've seen people promoting Digital Altitude on Instagram, and one thing led to another, and I joined the company, and I was probably one of those really annoying members for my coach, because on the first day I was like, I know I want to do this, I'm ready, can you unlock all my steps? And I was lucky. I actually managed to convince him to open all 6 steps on the first day. So I did them all on that day and invested straight away. And then obviously my next coach had to slow me down and tell me that it's not a race, it's take it slowly and go through the process properly. And so I went through the next 12 steps, and by that point, like, I just knew that Digital Altitude was going to change my life. And I ended up speaking with Justin Holland, who is my sponsor, and we were just chatting, and he was planning to go to Bali with a few other people from our team, and it was a month before I was meant to return to my job at the bank, and he was like, just quit your job and come meet us in Bali, and we'll show you the ropes, we'll show you everything you need to know, and we'll get your business set up and running. And I was like, well, this is my opportunity to do what I've been dreaming of doing. So if I don't take this now, then I'm probably going to return to my job, and this will just be a dream that never happened. So in that moment, I took a massive risk, and I called my boss, and actually I didn't call. I sent him an email saying, basically, I'm not coming back to work. And I remember just sitting there shaking and crying, and it was all these emotions just rolled up because it was 10 years of being at that bank, and then I just gave it all up in like a split second. And it was the best decision I've ever made because I went to Bali. I connected with so many amazing people from our team, and I just got my business completely set up and running. And I was like, people have probably heard that story because it's in one of the DA sales videos, but I was making sales within my first few weeks. But then it kind of came crashing down on me a little because I wasn't fully invested, and I kind of doubted myself, and I played it safe, and I only committed to Rise Level when I started marketing. So then I went through that kind of spiral of comparing myself to others who were getting better results, and went through the experience of passing up commissions and really getting down on myself and not really knowing what to do. So I took a good hard look at myself and really reviewed my goals and why I was actually in this business. And I realized that I had to make a proper investment. And so in August of last year, I decided that it was time to fully invest. So I did that. And since then, my income results have just been crazy. Like, I've been on the leaderboard for the whole of January so far, and I've had my biggest months. I'm already sitting at 12,000 for January, and we're not even like halfway through the month. So it's just been crazy to see what actually happens once you do make that decision to fully invest in yourself and not just dabble. And all the coaches will tell you this. They'll tell you to invest, and your coaches will believe in you, but you need to believe in yourself, and you need to make that commitment to yourself, and you need to stay true to your vision. And the only thing that really kept me going was having a strong why. I did not want to have to return back to that job ever again, and I didn't want to have to go back to working for anyone else. And that's what kept me going, and I stayed persistent, and I've worked on my business every single day, because even the days when I don't work on my business, I've leveraged systems that work on my business for me. So for the whole month, for the whole first few weeks of January, I was on a road trip, and I had my Instagram posting on its own, and I had people joining my business without me actually reaching out to anybody, because my systems are in place now to leverage my time and give me that freedom. So, yeah, my main message today is just to never give up on yourself and really get clear on why you're actually here, and be consistent and be persistent, and listen to your coaches, because they really do know what's right, and they've been through all of this sort of stuff before, and they're here to help you on your journey. And you have so many resources available to you at Digital Altitude, like the event, the one coming up in San Diego. Do your best to get to that event, because when I went to Vegas last year, it really resealed the deal for me on what this company is all about and how many lives they're actually changing. And what we have available to us here is just an amazing opportunity, an amazing community. Like, having the pleasure of being here to be able to share my story with so many people all over the world is just an amazing thing. And thank you all for all the comments. I can see them coming up on my screen. I'm really glad that you guys are enjoying my story. And yeah, that's pretty much the main gist of what I wanted to share with you all today. Listen to your coaches and really take the time to invest in yourself, because your dreams are worth it. And if other people out there are doubting you, don't listen to them, because the people that are going to help you get the results you want are all the people within this business that are rooting for you, and that are telling you that you can do this, and that are showing you that you can do this by sharing their own results with you. Because if I can do it, so can you.
You know what, Jade? That is a beautiful opening. We got lots more that we want to hear from you, though. So, and you and I have not had like any time together prior to this, right? So this is all very street, very unscripted, and that's cool. And I think I got to meet you at, of course, in Las Vegas. And were you with us at Peak? I think perhaps, or one of the other events.
No, not last. I hadn't actually invested yet, so I'm going to be at a Centum Peak this year. So I'm eagerly awaiting the announcement.
Okay, so you are relatively new, really new, actually. So you've not been to an Ascent or Peak yet, just a marketing mastery event, and it sounds like you're maybe 6 months into the business. It sounds like maybe you were around the business a bit prior to August. Right, so August was your sort of awakening, but so let's say you're 5-6 months into it. So just like we were hearing from Jen Weeman last week, who I coached personally back in October, you were just a couple months prior to that, and so in this case you got a couple of big points that you just introduced, which I want to perhaps delve into a bit more and get your perspective on stuff, because I'm just discovering who you are as well. The first one is that you mentioned listening to your coaches, and if you could say that just a few more times, like a few thousand times, just to let people know that they really should listen to the coaches. And listening to your coaches is good. If you could tell us a little bit more about that.
Honestly, guys, so I actually have been in digital altitude a lot longer. I started in 2016, but because I didn't listen to my coach, I struggled my way through for a long time because I had only started at Rise. So, sorry, there's a rubbish truck outside my window, so I hope you can't hear that. I had struggled my way through Rise, and he had told me that I should invest higher and to believe in myself, and he knew my background and he knew that I had the ability to do it, but I had that doubt in my mind, and I didn't believe in myself at the time, and I just wanted to play it safe and test the waters so I could quit my job and hold on to my money so I could travel. And so in those first few months, I actually passed up a lot of commissions because I wasn't positioned. And the biggest thing I'd say to every one of my members is listen to your coach, because your coaches know what's right, and your coaches see this every single day, and they hear the stories of people that didn't listen and didn't do it, and they know that that's people's biggest regret. So your coaches aren't there just trying to make you upgrade. They're there to help you do what's right for you and to see the potential in you, because most people don't see the potential that they've got, and your coaches know that you've got it.
That's an important point. There's a couple of embedded messages in there, and one of them is that if you already knew how to reach your goals, you would have already reached them, right? So nobody knows how to reach a goal until they've reached it. And in every single case of every person I've coached in the past couple of decades, they weren't making the kind of money that they wanted to make, and they weren't making the kind of money that I make, and so there's an opportunity there to learn. However, if someone gets started, like you were saying, you were in a big hurry at first. You were in a big hurry to get through the initial steps, and yet is that really coachable? And then subsequently you wound up passing up a lot of money, right? So it sounds to me like some good advice that, hey, I don't already know, so maybe let me talk to somebody who does know. That's big. I did that when I was getting started, Jade. I was a newbie. Nobody knew who I was all those years ago, right? But once I finally found somebody, or in my case, more than just one somebody, a few people, right? A good handful of people, 4 or 5 people who were making the kind of money I wanted to make, and more than I even expected. I closed mouth, opened ears, right? And modeled that to the best of my ability. And now, of course, I became one of them. But in hindsight now, okay, in retrospect, what would you have done differently in the beginning? Because we've got a lot of new people here, okay, who are listening to their coaches. Okay, so this is not just an admonishment and, you know, hey, everybody, you need to do something different than you're doing now. Many of you are doing beautifully, you know, brand new members, very coachable, and they really want to get to where you're at, Jade. So advice for our new people.
The thing that really changed everything for me was just getting really clear on my goals. So, and then reverse, like working backwards. So once I knew the income that I actually needed to make, and this is actually covered in your steps, but I just didn't do it at the time. And as I said, I wanted to rush through my steps and just start marketing because I knew I was going to live in Bali and I was just eager to share that with people. So just get clear on what you actually want and write down those goals and figure out what you need to do and break it down into how many people do I actually need to sign up to make this amount of money and how many do I need to convert in this amount of sales to make this amount, and get very specific and very clear and make a vision board or do whatever you need to do to focus on your goals every single day. But it was once I actually wrote it down and got clear and specific, and it's advice that you hear all the time, but it's probably stuff you overlook because you don't think that it really is necessary or that it works. But it was at that moment where I started doing that everything changed for me, because then I knew exactly what I needed to do, and then the results just started flowing.
So you've got a plan, right? You've got a purpose. And then, of course, we cover this, I can say that I do, with any of our new RISE members. We do business plans, and it's all based on, here's the interesting thing, it's all based on specific known goals. It is not just a cookie cutter thing. You know, it's like what you're talking about as far as like coaches essentially having you know, the person's best interest in mind. Clearly, that's why we're here, right? I mean, there's lots of, I can go anywhere and make money. I can go anywhere and you know, do other stuff. But this is a very purposeful thing, because you know what, Jade, in my experience, and it sounds like in yours as well, this industry set me free. I was working 70 hours a week in a corporate job that I hated, and that was after having failed in multiple businesses prior. So when I finally found, you know, people who were making the kind of money I wanted and who were willing to teach, I just grabbed on, you know, and so that's not something that happens every day, by the way. You know, I get to meet people throughout, you know, the digital altitude community who have experienced other businesses, who have experimented with it, in some cases invested heavily in other businesses, franchises, other home businesses, online things, and then when they get to digital altitude, it's you know, like a breath of fresh air, like, oh my goodness, where has this been all my life? And I'm not saying that as just to be self-congratulatory or something. I didn't start Digital Altitude, right? Hats off to Michael Force and for putting all this together. But without knowing what's on the other side, you know, without knowing what's behind, you know, curtain number one, people are in a bit of mystery about that. So based on our best thinking, right, based on what we already know, and all we know is all we already know, right? So people make decisions based on what they know. It can only go so far. And like in your case, Jade, you mentioned that you kind of got started on a leap of faith, right? Now you're in Bali and hanging out with Justin. Of course, we had Justin on here. Justin co-hosted the last Black Diamond Call of 2017. So how appropriate that you're on now, right here in January. But you know, here's some Australian guy, and he's like, you know, let's go meet in Bali or whatever. And all you know is all you know. Okay, but there's a lot more to know. So here you are. Some time has passed, and you're now, you know, here leading others, right? You're the voice of experience on this line, and that's just going to grow, right? Because you certainly, I haven't arrived. I suspect you haven't arrived either. There's more money to make. There's more people to help. But the main thing here, that the point that I was making was that a business plan, a strategy, has to be laid on top of known goals, objectives, and targets, right? This is not an arbitrary thing, nor is it a cookie cutter thing where, you know, one size fits all. No, there are people who, I suppose, could get started here and they're just looking to make a few extra dollars and, you know, pay their water bill or whatever. And, you know, they're not aspiring to the heights that, that some of us are, right? And there are other people who, I mean, they will not settle for anything less than $50,000 a month, right? I mean, they're already making, 20, 30, whatever, killing themselves in their current business or whatever they're doing. And, they're looking for the maximum returns on whatever time and money they invest. So that's a person would be obviously a very different plan for that person than for the individual who wants to supplement their income. Now, in your case, you were replacing a job in at a large bank, right? So, and I don't know, had you ever had any experience like home business or online business prior to Digital Altitude?
It's funny you shared your story about that because I actually did. So prior to Digital Altitude, I was in another home-based business for about 8 months, and I had no results there. And that's kind of what stopped me from going all in with Digital Altitude from the start, because I'd already lost money in that. And I could see how amazing and different Digital Altitude was just by having the step-by-step system and the coaching. And I was in love with it from the day I started Digital Altitude, and that's why I was so eager to get started with it. But at the same time, I was playing safe because I didn't want to hurt myself again. And now in hindsight, I realize how much I limited and held myself back because of that. But I also feel like my story is a good one to inspire others and help others to avoid doing the same things I did, because I've learned from that, and in sharing my story with my team, they do understand where I've come from, and they appreciate me being that honest with them. So it does help.
That's great. And, helping others avoid the pitfalls, that is a very coachy kind of thing to do. That is really good stuff. Because truly, you want people to win, right? And I will speak for, of course, Michael and all the other top earners here and all the coaches. We want you to win. We want you to get the results that you're intending, right? Which means we need to be clear on our intentions and be willing to learn some stuff. Because, hey, if we already knew, we'd already be there. So that was the one point that you made that I was thinking was just we could really drive home, was listen to your coaches, because you don't already know. So, haste makes waste, right? Don't be in such a rush. Better to do it right and make millions than to throw crap against the wall, see what sticks, get overwhelmed, fail, quit, be another statistic, just like most people bumbling through life who aren't even sure where they're going. So well done on that. Well done, Jade. I'm glad that you got through to you. So thank you for being coachable. Second thing you mentioned was, yeah. Well, there's hope for us all. Second thing you mentioned was investing in yourself, and this is the thing we could say, metaphorically investing in yourself. Obviously, the investment of time, money, right? I mean, capital it comes in two forms, right? Time and money, but also your attention, right? You only have so much attention to put on something. Everybody think of it like you've got this bowl, and in the bowl there are all these units of attention, right? And it's a finite amount, right? And we could say that everything in the bowl is 100% of your attention. Well, how much are you investing your attention on yourself and the fulfillment of what you're looking to do here? Now, interestingly, the allocation of attention goes up, okay? You allocate more attention, you invest more of your attention when you've invested more of your capital. Again, that could be time and money. These things correlate directly. They are directly related. And I was wondering if maybe you could enlighten us a bit as to what changed as far as your actions and your attention to your business once you, in August or whatever it was, decided to as you say, invest in yourself, and in this case, put upgrades in and stop being just around the business, but actually, in the business as a leader. Did something change for you once you, bit the bullet, so to speak, and did the, scary, putting money on the table and all this? I mean, what was that like?
Yeah, so a lot actually changed at that point, because it wasn't just, it was investing money, but it was also investing myself fully, and it really did change my mindset, because by that point then I was like, well, I know that I can do this business. Now it's time to take it to the next level and to really make it work. And it wasn't just about the business anymore as well, but about doing everything as a whole on my well-being, because I had stopped going to the gym and I had stopped doing a lot of other stuff to keep myself healthy, and while I was going through that time at my job where I was stressed out and burnt out, and I didn't have time to really focus on myself. So I did start this business from a space where I hadn't been looking after myself anyway. So then once I realized that I'm important as well, and I started investing more time into myself and looking after myself, that's when I noticed changes in my business as well, because overall I was feeling better. And it wasn't about focusing on making this work anymore. It was about focusing on giving value to others and just sharing how I felt and sharing how this was changing my life. And once I started putting that message out there and people could actually see the change in myself, that's when everything changed within my business as well. And it was more about focusing on helping my team as well. So I now do like weekly calls with my team, and I put a lot more effort into helping them, because I understand the value of helping others. So it's not just about me and making money for myself.
Mm-hmm. Right. Now you mentioned taking care of yourself and personal development, which doesn't sound like it correlates with like making money and marketing. However, this is a recurring theme. Is there anybody seeing a pattern on this line? I mean, we could sit around and talk about the latest, Instagram strategies or something, and as thrilling as that is, that's, I don't know, 10% of it, maybe. The rest of it is who's doing it. That's the big question. Who is doing it? A person who honors themselves and sets a good example for others and is empowering, not only to oneself, but to anyone who comes into contact with them. These are things you mentioned. Physical fitness, right? And taking care of yourself, and that's something that, you know what, Jade, I had that same experience. It's something that I had gotten out of as a result of being in, the corporate world as long as I was, bell to bell, nonstop work. Hey, we got an emergency. You got to put out fires. I mean, problems. Who's got time to go to the gym? Who's got time to eat right? I was eating out of a food wagon. In the States, we call them a roach coach. I don't know what you call them in Australia. But, the mobile restaurants, they drive around in like a van or, a step truck or whatever you'd call it over there. And they, they serve greasy food out of the side, the side window that opens up. You walk up, you hand them the money, they give you, fried chicken or whatever. And so do that, work 70 hours a week, and don't go to the gym and see how you look. And so this was something that I had to rehabilitate in myself. But, when we honor ourselves, when we do, esteemable things, we have greater esteem, right? In fact, anyone who's feeling like you may have some low self-esteem, well, do esteemable things. And one thing that's very easy and very objective to do is, go lift some weights or something. Go run around the block. Do something with your body that's healthy. And then guess what? You'll feel more esteemed about yourself. And guess what will happen? That will show up in your communication, right? It won't be the same person delivering the communication. It's very different. And so we hear this again and again, Jade. So yes, you invested in yourself because you're worth it. Yes, you are important. And I think a lot of times in the corporate world, or in perhaps other things that people have done, or just being around ignorant friends, family, and neighbors, a lot of times people feel like maybe they're not important, right? Like it's all for somebody else. Or they've been invalidated to the point where they've perhaps given up on their dreams, if they even remember what those things are, which is tragic. Tragic. I saw somebody earlier in the chat room talk about something that I've mentioned several times, which is that the world needs more leaders, right? So if not you, then who? And if not now, then when, right? Is it somebody else? Is it tomorrow? Who? When? You. Now. So think about that, everybody. Jade can do it, and like she said, these are her words, if she can do it, anybody can do it. Jade, how old are you now?
I turned 29 in November.
Right. I know you're never supposed to ask a woman her age, but I just did. That's okay. I'm politically incorrect. So 29, you're still in your 20s, and here you are on the Black Diamond call and on your, Instagram or whatever else you do for marketing, inspiring people by your example. There are people, and I'm sure you've met them, right, because they get started with you in the business, who are perhaps approaching twice your age, who could use some guidance from you, right? Have you noticed that?
I have. And that was probably something I struggled with at first as well, because I was like, I'm just this young girl, and and older people are approaching me to help them, and I was just like, do they value what I say? Like, do I have enough to give to them? But I have been able to help them, and it's just amazing. Like, when people come together and you have the same mission and goals and values in life, it doesn't really matter what age you are, because you just connect on a different level anyway. And we've got that in our team. We've got people from all over the world and all different countries and all different ages, all different backgrounds, but we all just resonate so well, and it's just amazing the sort of people you attract when you're in line with your vision and values. And I just love that about this business and this company, and the people it's enabled me to meet is just amazing.
That is really great. And clearly age doesn't have a whole lot to do with it, as long as you've got the mindset for it. I remember when I was newer in the business and in this whole field, I mean, I got started in various businesses in my 20s, but I found top-tier direct sales, a more primitive version of what we know today. But I was 32 at the time. And yet here I was with, people answering my advertisements and all this sort of thing, in some cases 70 years old. So what does that mean? Does that mean that they can't be taught? Or that they somehow have more altitude than a 30-year-old? No, they may have a couple of decades extra of doing it wrong, So what does that mean, right? Well, maybe they're even more willing to learn because, hey, after proving to themselves, to the point where it's incontrovertible that where I'm going isn't getting me where I want to go. Like what I'm doing isn't getting me where I want to go, so therefore I should do anything but that. Let me go find somebody. What about one of these young whippersnappers who, they're making money online or something, So whatever the story is, right? As long as you're going in the spirit of service, then people are going to be receptive to that if they're willing to learn. And it reminds me of something I read from Napoleon Hill in Think and Grow Rich. Since we're talking about who you are as a leader and as an example to others, one of the things he mentioned there I believe it was in the chapter on organized planning, he talks about the QQS quotient. And what this is, just to keep it really simple, he talks about the service that you provide, and how if you want to increase your income and your worth in the marketplace, that look at the QQS, the quality, the quantity, and the spirit of the service you provide. Quality, quantity, and spirit. Okay, so this is not something that you can fake, I don't think, right? I've never been able to fake it. So quality, right? So that means you need to have some, right? You need to have quality. You cannot give what you have not got, right? So go learn some stuff, go participate, right? And be worthy of leading others, right? And again, that comes back to the self-esteem and the personal development stuff. The quantity, well, that's easy enough, right? Do more of what works and less of what doesn't, right? We call that scaling up. That's all very good. And then the spirit of the service is something you also mentioned, and that is that this isn't just about a money grab or something. You can go anywhere and make money. You certainly know how to work a job at a bank. There's probably other stuff you know how to do too. I could say that for everybody here, right? We've all survived up to this point. You can go do something else, okay, but we choose to do this. And why? Again, this is based on purpose. And if we have a solid purpose, and we know what that purpose is, our reason for being here and doing this, and yes, part of that is to make a pile of money. No apologies about that. Make a pile of money. Please do. Okay? Again, the world needs leaders. So go lead. Go show people what's possible. But in addition to that, if you've got a bigger vision, right, and you understand some of the effect that you can have and are having on the world as a result of your victories, well, now it's not, we're not going to market just trying to get, right? That's not the spirit of the service that we're providing. We're going with the intention of giving, of enlightening, empowering, and assisting others in creating what they want. You know, and as the old saying goes, the more you help other people get what they want, the more you get what you want. So Jade, I think this is very insightful, and I really appreciate you coming out here. And now I know a lot more about you as well. I'm so looking forward to seeing you in excuse me, in the upcoming events. And yeah, any other thing you want to say or add to all this before we open it up for audience participation?
I had something that I was going to say in response to what you were just saying, but it's just slipped my mind. So
Okay.
I just love everything you say though, and yeah, it was about the event in Vegas, where one of the things that really became clear to me about this company and Michael Force and every single person is that it is a real family, and it really is about helping people, and that's what I love about it, and that's the message that I love to get across to people, is that everybody here is here to just help, and no matter who you go up to and who you speak to, everyone is so welcoming and inviting, and I've just never experienced that before in any company I've worked with, like especially working at a bank. It was all about just hitting numbers on a board, and if you didn't hit your target, then you pretty much just got shunned to the side. And whereas here, it's not like that. It's no matter where you are within the company, everyone is here to help and support you, and it's just such an amazing thing to be part of.
It is. It is so great. And I was just looking in the chat roll. Jagdish, who's one of our regular attendees here, says this is by far the best thing about DA. Everyone is so welcoming. You know, that's an interesting observation. You know, I've seen or I've heard of you know, people that were supposedly about helping and serving and stuff like this, and yet quite often in much of the home business world or online business world, it's either, you know, very dog eat dog, every man for himself, that sort of thing, or it's the blind leading the blind. Right? I mean, we're going to show you how to make money, and yet we don't know how to make money. So, and this is kind of a travesty, but it's widespread. You know, so it's almost like you need to be skeptical these days. I mean, who actually knows what the hell they're doing? Somebody, please, right? And so when I finally found people who knew what they were doing, oh, Jade, it was like a great door opening, you know. And so now, obviously, you know, that's a very purposeful thing for people like us to do, right? Is to keep that torch burning, you know, and to pass it to the next generation of people, which are on the line listening right now. So why don't we do this? I'm going to go ahead and get this Q&A session on the road here. So stand by, everybody. Here we go. Okay, Q&A session has started. So if you would like to come out here and speak live with Jade Scarfone, and do you pronounce it Italian like that, Scarfone?
You did pronounce it right. I forgot to say that at the start.
Oh, okay.
So yes, well.
I know, like a more American pronunciation would be Scarfone, but you know, in Italian we enunciate the e's. So anyway, we have Jade online, and if you want to speak with Jade, questions, comments, go ahead and hit *6 on your phone or Skype, or if you're on the application, the free conference call app, you can just click the button to raise your hand. We have 2 people in queue already, 3 people in queue already, and we are going to go to our first caller, which is Christopher. You're live on the air, Christopher.
Hey, John, Lavinia, and Jade. It's a pleasure to talk to you guys. I'm calling in from South Korea.
All right.
And at the beginning of the conversation, you guys were talking about how Jade flew off to Bali to meet her mentor. I was just wondering what that relationship, being able to meet a mentor and work with somebody, means to her now, a year later, and how they have grown that relationship.
Um, well, yeah, like we speak pretty much every day, and it's really awesome to have such a supportive sponsor because he helps with my members. All the times when I was doubting myself, I'd go and whinge to him, and he'd make me feel better. And we put on masterminds together in Vegas for the recent events, so it's really been a massive thing for me, and it's been, yeah, the relationship has just grown and grown, and it's awesome to have a sponsor that's so supportive.
It's fantastic. I don't know if there's anywhere that I've seen another, team ethic like that outside of Digital Altitude.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
carry through it.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Jade. You were saying?
No, I was just going to say, yeah, that's very true. But you can go ahead because you'll have something much better to say.
No. I was just acknowledging our friend Christopher. Thank you, Christopher. And yeah, this is not something you just accidentally find on a whim, right? This is really special what we've got here. So, Christopher, thank you for getting us started. Thank you for sharing. We're going to go to our next caller, which is Paula. Hey, Paula, you're live on the air.
Hello, I'm here in Wisconsin, full of
Awesome.
snow. My question is, I relate a lot to the gradual upgrading. I know that Jade referred to it's better to do it at the beginning, but even if you cannot upgrade at the very beginning, it's hopeful to know that you got there, right?
Yes, I'm glad that can inspire other people as well, because that is very true. Like I did start at the low level, and while I don't recommend it to people, if your goals are to do that way, then it is good to know that it is possible. And if you stick at it and you just follow the steps and follow the training and just take action every single day, and don't get caught up in comparing yourself to others, because I found that's where I started to spiral off a little bit. But just remember it's your journey, and you came here to achieve certain goals. So as long as you're achieving the goals you want to achieve, then that's the main thing. So just keep sticking at it and celebrate every little win, because when you get your first sign up and when you make your first dollar and you make your first big sale and then you get to the point where you can upgrade, they're all things in your journey that you should celebrate and get excited over. So make sure you do that and that you're just proud of every step of your journey.
Thank you.
Awesome stuff.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Paula. And Jade, did you quantify like how much money you passed up in those first months?
Oh, I don't like to talk about it. It was about $50,000.
$50,000?
It was
Okay.
a lot.
All right. Well, there's
Yeah.
$50,000. I'm sure your sponsor appreciated the the work that you put in. Oh, look, there are horror stories way more horrifying than that. Yeah. So $50,000 though. That's that's 50 grand. So
I don't mind putting work.
I think my car cost 50 grand. What was that? We had another question from Paula.
Yes, I'm just wondering how if she's married, because in my case, I'm all for it, and I'm meeting with my coaches and implementing every step of the way, trying to be as coachable as you said, but not having so much support at home with the upgrades. And in a marriage, you have to agree on financial investments. So that's my challenge right now. Are you married, Jade?
No, I'm not married.
That's one advantage.
It was
Oh,
my parents that I had to really convince, because my dad works at a bank as well, and the day I told him I was quitting the bank to do this online thing, I probably almost gave him a heart attack. So that was the hardest thing for me, was trying to convince my parents, who were so proud of my previous job, but I just did it anyway. And I said, I used that as fuel to prove to everybody that I could do it, because I did have so many doubters, but I didn't care because I knew this was what I wanted to do, and I knew that I had to be happy, and what I was doing wasn't making me happy. So just try and get over that and talk to people and tell them that this is what you want to do for you, and hopefully they'll support you in that because you need to be happy.
Exactly. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Paula. Awesome stuff. And we're going to go on to our next caller, who is, I don't know, who is this? Who's live on the air with me right now?
Katie from Bridgewater, Mass.
Hey, Katie. For some reason, your name was not coming through. Katie, ladies and gentlemen, here she is.
Hi, John. Hi, Jade. Congratulations to you. I saw your posting today on Facebook, and that is just so awesome. My question is, did you say you met with your sponsor, or you got a mentor that helped you set up your business and get running?
I met with my sponsor. So
okay.
We're both just young Australians, and he was planning to go to Bali, and I live like 3 hours away from Bali. So he just said, look, we're going to live here for a few months. Do you want to come along? And I went along. And we had a few of us from all over come up. So we had about 6 of us in the house at one time. So it was pretty cool.
Well, that's awesome. Is it common that sponsors do help set up running the business, getting people started? Is that something that usually happens?
I guess it depends on your sponsor, but it's something that's been instilled in me because that's the experience I've had. So I make sure that I am very hands-on with my team. I haven't invited any of them to come and live in Bali with me yet, but it's something I would actually love to do. So yeah, I guess as well, like our whole mission is to travel. So for us, we're always around the world anyway. So it's just meeting friends in another place essentially for us. So that was the main gist of it, was we just like to travel. So why not travel together and work on your business together?
Sure, absolutely. All right, so I guess my next question was, it wouldn't be inappropriate to reach out to your sponsor and maybe ask about that? Do you think that would be inappropriate, or?
No, definitely not. If you've clicked on their link and signed up to get their help, so they should be willing to help you.
Okay, great. Thank you, and congratulations to you.
Thank you very much.
Awesome stuff. Thank you, Katie. And just so you know, I am not meeting you in Bali, but
no?
It's interesting. I did have this is back in the old days, long before a lot of the online marketing with Top Tier Direct Sales. I did have a guy who got started with me as his sponsor, and he decided to move from New England to Tucson, Arizona, just to hang out. Like, he moved his family to across the country because his buddy John, who he just met over the phone and stuff, is there, and we're going to learn how to make money. Okay, so that's taken the initiative. It sounds like what Jade is describing is, she's got, in her case, Justin, and sounds almost like a hippie caravan or something. Like, hey, we're going to head over to Bali for a couple of months. Come with us. Oh, all right. That's highly irregular, but whatever works, And other sponsors, are very reclusive. It's just the kind of thing where you got some people are more like about data, right? Running tons of traffic on the internet, and they're not really like big time, communicators or socialites and stuff. Whereas other people are more like what Jade's describing here. So yeah, it's all, and it works for all of us. And you know why it works for all of us? Because we got all these coaches here who are communicators, and my goodness, you could actually never, ever talk to a sponsor and still have all the support you could possibly utilize and more. So great stuff. Thank you for a great question there, Katie. You're welcome. We've got a queue. We've got a line of people here that want to talk to Jade. So, all right, we're going to have to get it moving here. Sometimes, Jade, we're like got 1 or 2 people, and then we wrap up the call. And now we're going to be packing them in. So here we go. We're going to go to our next caller, who is name unknown from the 310 area code. Who am I speaking with?
Oh, Ron from California.
Hey, Ron, you're live on the air.
Okay, the question I have is that when you got started, did you start by purchasing clicks first?
No, I've never really done any paid traffic at all. So as I said, I was on a budget. I wanted to travel, so I wanted to make this work from free strategies. So I learned how to use Instagram, and I've just leveraged Instagram to a point where I now get automated signups from Instagram. So not quite on like Jason Stone's 2 million followers level, but I've built up a good enough following on Instagram that I can get signups every day from my account.
Did you use a referral link?
Yeah, so I put my links on Instagram, so and then people opt into my email list. So if they don't automatically sign up from my Instagram account, then they get emails from me on a consistent basis. So I'm constantly in touch with them, and my emails also recommend that they connect with me on Facebook. So for me, it's all about building personal relationships, and that's why our team is very different in the fact that we do meet up, because we end up becoming quite close friends because we've built rapport from the start. So it's not a cold traffic sort of relationship, which in that case it would be very different. But yeah, so I've never done paid traffic.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Ron. Good stuff. We're going to go to our next caller, which is Chris. Chris, you're live on the air.
Oh, I just wanted to know that so I'm just kind of getting into the very first part of this, and my question is, what are some of the things that you have to overcome when you're first getting started to get to that next level?
A lot of, like, for me it was definitely a lot of mindset barriers. So I didn't believe that I was the sort of person that would get the big results. I didn't have the support from the friends and family around me. They were all telling me that it was a scam and that I shouldn't have quit my job and what I was doing was stupid. And so I had a lot of doubt and a lot of negative mindset stuff to overcome. And that's why I love the steps in digital altitude, because they are so focused on getting your mindset in the right frame. And that's why I joined every single coaching call I could and every call that I could be on, and getting to events and being live with people that are wanting the same things as you is just such an important part of making this journey a success, because it makes it real. And there's lots of technical things you can do, but if you don't believe in yourself and if you don't believe in it, then that's where you tend to not push forward. So I definitely think your mindset and surrounding yourself with the right people and doing those right things is definitely the key to getting ahead and overcoming all those obstacles.
Thank you.
No problem.
Hey Jade, I'm a fellow Australian. I joined up maybe about a week ago now, actually, so I'm still pretty fresh. My question was, I'm really interested in attending that event coming up in March. What would you prioritize? Would you prioritize your position, or would you prioritize attending that event with your commissions?
Ooh. I do believe events are very, very important, because you make amazing connections there and you learn so much there, and it really just helps you take your business to the next level. But you also want to be positioned so that everything that you learn at that event, when you start implementing it, you're going to get the maximum results from it. But if it is, that's a very tough one.
Yeah, it's a tough question, sorry.
But honestly, I think if you're struggling to get positioned and you can get to an event, then what you learn at that event is going to fast track you getting results, which will get you positioned faster.
Yeah.
So I do believe events definitely are very, very important to taking you to that next level in your business.
Yeah, okay. All right. Thanks, Jade.
No problems.
Hello, Jade. It's Glenn Henderson. Can you hear me clearly?
Hi, Cam.
How are you doing?
I'm wonderful, thank you.
Excellent, excellent. I'll tell you, every time I hear you speak or see one of your posts, it is just tremendously inspiring to me. I wanted to ask you one question, and it goes back in a way almost to the beginning of your digital altitude business. You were talking about one of the things that really snapped it for you, and one of the things that really powered you to begin really achieving your goals, more of your goals, and faster, and then seeing the income. The thing that you mentioned was becoming very, very clear about your goals and what you wanted to achieve with your digital altitude business, and clearly you're achieving some of those things. I wanted to ask you about a little bit about the future. Maybe look into your own crystal ball, if you will, and where do you see, kind of a sense, where do you see yourself in, let's say, the next 2, 5, 10 years, in as far as your business and as far as what you want to accomplish with your digital altitude business, and where you want to take your life from here?
Oh, everyone's coming out with the tough questions now.
Well, this is the final exam,
Yeah. So there's lots of goals that I still want to accomplish with digital altitude. Like I want to get to those number one spots on the leaderboards. I want to be on stage inspiring people. But it's not just about that. I want to see my team members getting results. That's the biggest thing for me. And I actually get more excited when I see one of my team members has made a sale than when I get a email about my own sales. So that's one of the big things for me. And I want to be able to hold events like what Justin did for me. I want to be able to hold events around the world for my team where they can come together and just really mastermind and get their businesses going. And yeah, I just want to see more of the world and just keep inspiring people through those experiences of travel. And yeah, I could go on and on and on, but that's my main thing.
So Jade Scarfone is going global. That is absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much for your inspiring words tonight, Jade. We appreciate it so much.
Thank you for listening and asking a great question.
Awesome stuff. We can always count on Glenn. Hey, and by the way, Glenn, I was muted while I was unmuting your line and bringing you out here, so I don't know what was just happening. But yes, great stuff. Glenn Henderson, ladies and gentlemen, catch him on Friday mornings on our Inside Digital Altitude call. So good stuff. With that, we're going to go ahead and wrap up Q&A. All right, so we are back to just you and I there, Jade. So thank you for a great Black Diamond call and for sharing so many great insights with our new members and our seasoned veterans as well. I got great value out of tonight as well. Did you have any closing comments, anything you'd like to say before we wrap up for tonight?
I think one thing I need to reiterate, listen to your coaches. Just as we mentioned, that's so many
listen to your coaches. All right. Well, now we know. Let's do that. So, again, Jade, thank you for all you do. So looking forward to seeing you at an upcoming event. And, of course, for all of our members here who've never been to an event, we've got 2 on the calendar right now. So get to one, and or at least one, get to both, But I will see you back here tomorrow for an over-the-phone event on our wake-up call Tuesday morning. So you guys, in the meantime, make it a great night. You absolutely deserve it. Jade, thank you again, and we'll see you all real soon.
Thank you very much.